Joy Reid just found out. Didn't her show get canceled? Isn't that what this is about? I'm assuming that's what it's about.
White tears, particularly male white tears. Really white tears in general, because that's what Karens are, right? They Karen out, and then as soon as they get caught, Green Waterworks. My show had value. And
oh my God.
I'm sorry. That what I was doing had value.
Oh, the tears of unfathomable sadness. Yummy.
I'm sorry, but nothing she did with her political commentary actually provided any real value to any voters, as her whole show was just pushing propaganda for the establishment.
The thing about it is, it's funny until he actually wiretaps a member of Congress, right? I mean, you had the D.C., the U.S. Attorney from D.C. literally threaten Chuck Schumer over something he said a few years ago about how, you're going to feel the wrath of the American people. It's like, oh, that sounds like a threat. Anyone who says any criticism of the Doge kids, he could literally have your house raided. And I mean, this is the threat that Republicans and Democrats are now living under. Basically, we on this side of the TV screen have said all we can. We've laid out the stakes in this crucial election, where one side stands for freedom while the other meets the textbook definition of fascism, a far-right dictatorial regime.
I like asking Grok because you can ask for the sources. So it's like you can just look them up right after.
Germany or Franco's Spain or Mussolini's Italy, but also white-ruled South Africa.
Trying to convince her audience Kamala's campaign was flawless.
I mean, this really was an historic, flawlessly run campaign. Queen Latifah never endorses anyone.
Dude, this is like Gigacope, like flawless campaign.
She came out.
What is this?
She had every prominent celebrity voice. She had the Taylor Swift. She had the Swifties. She had the Beehive. Like, you could not have run a better campaign.
And basically just racism.
In America, there's a thing about both white vigilantism and white tears, particularly male white tears. Really white tears in general, because that's what Karens are, right? They Karen out, and then as soon as
these people are so fucking racist. It's so wild. They're like they're the most racist, and they're always claiming racism. It's actually insane.
Green Waterworks.
It's amazing to me how she survived for so long, as her entire purpose on television was to spread lies and create division, all while accusing the other side of spreading lies and creating division. But here she is crying over not being able to be paid to be a professional idiot anymore.
That what I was doing had value. And in the end, I'm sorry, I try not to cry on TV. And this is kind of like me on TV, so I apologize. And then it mattered. I see Karen is there, and she's been texting me as well. And so what I will just say is that in the end, thank you. Where I land is that the moment of guilt that I felt, that I went hard on so many issues, whether it was
main use to run for president is concerning.
Arigato.
Only using celebrities as your main use to run for president is concerning. Yeah, true, Sarah's well, true. I mean. She spent a lot of money on that and it didn't even really deliver anything. All it did was create a situation where people wanted to see her only to see the celebrities. That's all they cared about.
The Black Lives Matter issues of a young baby or a mom or a dad that was killed, or when we opened up people's eyes to the fact that Asian Americans were being targeted and not just black folks. That
kind of interesting how I never heard her bring up Jocelyn Adams or Muhammad Anwar when the BLM or Stop Asian Hate movements were in headlines everywhere. But here she is now doing her whole revisionist history as to why she was such a steward for social.
The crazy thing about that whole thing is you want to talk about calling out people for doing racist things and calling out specific groups of people for doing that. Well, there was a specific group of people that were kind of spearheading that thing, and nobody talks about it. It's only okay to talk about it when it's white people.
Justice, when all she was really doing was promoting left-wing
for society. That's not what I think.
Talking points while omitting the
exactly what Julio said. Stop Asian hate movement. Stop when they found out who the perpetrators were. Exactly.
Truths that were actually impacting our community.
Or whether we've talked about what the president is doing that is subversive to the Constitution, that is injurious to our liberty, defending books. I am not sorry.
For people that care so much about like minority races, Asians get shitted shitted on all the fucking time. To be honest, like it's shitted on in school admissions. You know, again with the whole racism thing that happened. Like they didn't care about it.
I stood up for those things.
And calling Asians white passing, that's freaking ridiculous. Like what?
It's because those things are of
Asians
God.
don't look white. What are they talking about? Are they saying like it's because Asians make a lot of money? Why is that?
And
maybe it's a cultural thing.
You know, I'm a church girl too, and those are the things that I was taught were of God. And so I'm not sorry. I'm just
maybe
proud
America
of
is
my-
actually good for people that want to actually make it. Maybe it's a cultural issue.
Joe.
And I think
The
that
most
last
hilarious
line
part about
encapsulates
them
how
having
detached
nearly
from
every
reality these
celebrity
people
endorsing
are.
them is that they then sat there and claimed they were for the me.
The most hilarious part is having nearly every celebrity endorsing them, that they sat there and then they claimed that they were for the middle class while also saying eat the rich. If you want to know what the actual thing that's keeping people down in society is actually welfare. Like systems of welfare is actually what's fucking people up and keeping them down.
You got fired for being terrible at your job and failing at basically your only objective on MSNBC, which was defeating Donald Trump, as he's now more popular and powerful than ever. But somehow
It's a combination of culture and welfare that's causing it.
walking away from a legacy of being fired.
That and SSRIs. I actually don't know much about that. Real Master Troll. Is there like a good video that you know of about like the effects of it? I mean, I've been hearing about it a lot lately, but it hasn't been like high on my to look into list.
Over her failures and still wants to sign off with, "I'm proud of that." That's just loser mentality.
Let me see. Shigo says that's bullshit. I'm pretty sure the only reason I didn't get accepted into engineering school I applied with a 3.9 GPA, insanely good SAT scores, because I put Asian in your application. Yeah, I mean, that's like a well-known thing, right? Like, I don't even think they try to debunk that really, because they actually want to keep that system in. And there have been groups like minority rights groups, like particularly Asian ones, trying to fight those rules in California specifically, where I was from.
KA, she lost in historic fashion, but she still ran a flawless campaign. Kicks Clay Travis points out how ultra-left TV commentators like Joy Reid, Don Lemon, and Jim Acosta got $1 million contracts to be on TV, but never developed an actual fan base, where they were broadcast into millions of people's homes every night, and somehow were never able to establish a connection with them, as Don Lemon now has over 500,000 subscribers on YouTube, but barely gets in the tens of thousands of views on his videos.
Some of these are pretty good. These are not bad. Julio, we're not doing that bad. A lot of our videos are hitting Don Lemon numbers. We're doing pretty good. I feel a lot better now, guys.
In the tens of thousands of views on
fucking
his videos. Jim Acosta broke off to his own Substack with nearly 250,000 followers, but can't even break 2,000 likes per post. Compared to when Tucker Carlson was fired from Fox News, his audience had no problem following him to his own independent show, where he's raking in millions of views per interview of people seeking him out to watch hours of long-form conversation. And what is this really? Do you mean to tell me that people on the right are more loyal to their newsmen than people on the left? Or is it just that people crave the truth? Because anybody from Don Lemon to Joy Reid to Decoy Voice could go on CNN or MSNBC and read the same teleprompter, parroting these same talking
It's funny
points.
because
But
Leaflit
there's only
is now
one
one
man
of
in
the
news that
YouTube
sounds like
channels
that.
I get my news and opinions now.
Thank you, Chibi. Thank you so much for the bits. Thank you.
I'm here in my secret getaway hideout, just enjoying the outdoors. Turns out that things are not as good in the forest.
Oh my god, wait.
Points. But there's only one man in news that sounds like that.
Good evening, I'm here in my secret getaway hideout, just enjoying the outdoors. Turns out that things are not as good in the forest as we believe.
That's actually like how he sounds. That's actually how he sounds.
They were. I spoke to an owl just today. He has many concerns. Turns out that just the other day, his humble tree home was raided by squirrels. They stole everything. Crime is surging in the forest. Acorns are being extorted. If it was up to me, my furry friends would take back their woodland home. What's the matter? Did the squirrels steal the nuts between your legs as well?
Even did the laugh.
And maybe that's why neither me nor Joy Reid can get
amazing.
millions of fans that tune into every piece of content we make, because we don't have that signature Tucker Carlson inflection. As I know my delivery is distinct in this bizarre mix of Korean Christopher Walken speech pattern. I remember even being recognized in a very dark bar on Halloween.
I actually really like Decoy Voice's like style. Like, it does sound really unique to me. Like, if I heard like someone doing an impression of Decoy Voice, I would definitely be able to hear it
based on someone hearing my voice alone. And even though I can come across somewhat controversial with my political takes, I've never had a bad interaction in real life with someone that recognizes me, contrary to how people see the left-wing political pundits.
Hey, is this Jim Acosta? Yeah. Wow, fake news, Jim Acosta, everybody.
So maybe that's what these outlets like MSNBC and CNN are starting to realize, that with free-flowing information...
Yeah, I really like his voice, actually. Decoys, I like it a lot.
Places like the #1 ranked news app, Twitter, they can no longer manipulate the reality around their viewers when they can just log on to X and constantly see the truth. Or they keep trying to play this clip of Elon allegedly leaving his kid behind.
Come down about 3 months ago. You're leaving your little boy.
When in actuality, it's just yet another carefully clipped hoax.
Wait, what did they do?
Because we don't have too many. That was when I watched his rocket come down about 3 months ago.
Oh my, what? Did they actually like use that to be like, Elon left his kid behind? He came back. What the heck? Wow, fucking dickheads.
For some people, all it takes is 1 or 2 red pill moments like this. But for others, I think it takes an entire election cycle to finally unplug from the mainstream corporate media. As if you only watched Joy Reid and Don Lemon, you would think Kamala Harris was the greatest presidential candidate of all time, about to win in a landslide. But as the reality was completely different, and when they quickly transitioned into, here's why it's a bad thing Trump's Doge is exposing rampant wasteful spending and fraud, people are finally gonna stop watching the mainstream corporate media, as it only made them dumber and more detached from reality than if they watched nothing at all. But if you appreciate my concise, light-hearted commentary that sadly doesn't sound like Tucker Carlson, hopefully I've earned your subscription, then go check out the video on how DEI is actually starting to affect air travel.
It's so, hold on, I gotta find that guy. That actually really does sound like Tucker Carlson.
Montreal, Quebec for the Four Nations Hockey Championship. I don't speak French, but parlez-vous, socialist gaylord. I'm out here in the Canadian wilderness where just this morning I ran into a mama bear with 2 cubs. Oh, but where was the father? Is this why bears are so violent? Because there's no male figure? I think the bear community needs to look at the reflection in the river the next time they're clawing for salmon. On top of that, I encountered a cougar. No, not your mom. We all know she's in jail.
It's like so perfect.